Hi, let's discuss Fearful. So, with the Fearful novella right around the corner, the question burning in every Powerless fans just like me is what have we really missed about Mara? We met her in those final gut-wrenching moments in Fearless, but this sudden mysterious figure who is somehow deeply connected to Kitt Azer. But what if she wasn't so sudden after all? I went back and reread the entire Powerless trilogy from the slums of Ilia to the bloody sands of the trials, looking for any signs of her. And I'm convinced that Lauren Roberts has been planting subtle, almost invisible clues all along. These little Easter eggs might just change how you see Mara's connection to Kitt and the entire kingdom of Ilia before Fearful drops on September 2nd this year. Today we're going spelunking. I'm going to break down 4 major clues I found and what they could mean for the new novella. And fair warning, this video contains major spoilers for Powerless, Reckless, and Fearless. If you aren't caught up, you have been officially warned. Instead, you could go and watch my previous videos where I reviewed these previous books. Okay, section 1, setting the stage. What we know about Fearful. Okay, before we get into the conspiracy theories, let's recover what we officially know about Fearful. According to the publisher, this novella, book 3.5, takes place during the events of Fearless. It follows a mysterious woman named Mara who returns to Ilia intrigued by life-altering decision the king makes. The synopsis tells us that Death personified is determined to understand Kitt Azer because he might just be destined to join her in the Moors. The Moors, it seems, is the realm of death in this universe of Ilia. We're promised a story that digs into love, revenge, and power, and how even the purest intention can go horribly wrong. Most importantly, it looks like Mara's time watching the castle inhabitants reminds her that there's more to life than, well, death. There's love. So we're being set up for a tragic, complicated love story between Kitt, the royal prince destined to die, and Mara, the literal personification of death. That's our foundation. But the clues that this was coming have been there from the very beginning. Section 2, Clue 1, The Phantom in Face. First clue, and maybe the one that convinced me that I was onto something, is what I'm calling the Phantom in the Palace. There are several moments in Fearless from Kitt's perspective where he seems to be talking to someone who just isn't there. And I don't mean he's just thinking to himself. These feel like actual conversations with someone we can't see. The clearest example this happens during the brutal fight between Kitt and Kai, which is useless, but that's another topic. Right before it all goes down, Kitt tells Kai he will always choose Paedyn over him, and Kai denies it, saying he can love them both. And Kitt's reply is chilling. He says, "She told me," then looks at the empty space right beside his brother. Who is she? Obviously, Mara. At that time, you just assume he just lost his mind, twisted by jealousy and the plague. But looking back, it feels like he's talking directly about Mara. Think about it. The official summary for Fearful says Mara is in the castle, observing. What if she was doing more than just observing? What if she was whispering in Kitt's ear, fueling his paranoia about Kai and Paedyn all along? And it doesn't stop here. As Kitt is dying, his final words are, "I'll go gently for you." But the book is very clear. He isn't speaking to Kai. He's looking past him at the same empty space, at the same phantom, she. The line is directly echoed in Kitt's epilogue where Mara tells him she will let him go gently. It's not a coincidence, really. It's a thread, a direct line showing Mara was present and communicating with Kitt long before we ever officially met her. It suggests that their relationship in Fearful won't be a new thing, but the payoff to a long unseen manipulation. Section 3, Clue 2, Lore of the Moors. The second rule is baked right into the world building, specifically the idea of Moors. In Kitt's epilogue in Fearless, when he wakes up in the strange in-between place, he asks Mara, "This is not the Moors. Where am I?" And honestly, this is a huge reveal. It tells us Kitt doesn't know Mara's name. He knows the name of her realm. The name Moors itself is a clue. In Latin, Moors literally means death. It's the root of the words like mortal or mortuary. In Lauren Roberts is clearly a word nerd playing with etymology to build her word, and I love her for it. But where would Kitt have learned this? Throughout the trilogy, old legends and banished histories are mentioned, along with King's obsession with controlling information. The ordinaries were purged and history was erased. So what other histories were buried? Here's my theory. The Moors is part of Ilia's old forgotten mythology, a belief system from before the plague that current king has suppressed. Maybe there were tales of personified death, a figure who guides souls. As a prince, Kitt would have had access to books and tutors no one else did. He could have found those old stories, becoming fascinated with the Moors and the entity who rules it. This would explain how he knows its name. It also sets up such a cool dynamic for Fearful. If Kitt already knows the role, meaning Mara is just not a shock, it's a confirmation of ancient legends. It suggests he was looking for her just as much as she was watching him. Okay, before I drop my last two clues, which I think will absolutely seal the deal, I want to hear from you. What have you noticed on your threads? There are other moments where Kitt seems to be talking to a phantom. Drop your own theories about Mara and Kitt in the comment section below. I'd love to see what everyone else has been piecing together. Section 4, Clue 3. What's the meaning of Mara? Alright, the clue number 3 is a personal favorite because it's so wonderfully meta. The name itself, Mara, Lauren Roberts did not choose this name by accident. The name Mara has deep, powerful, incredible dark origins in multiple cultures. In Hebrew, Mara means bitter or sorrow. It's famously used in Old Testament by Naomi. Takes the name to redirect her deep grief. But wait, it gets even more on the nose. In Sanskrit, Mara is the name of a demon king tied to death, rebirth, and desire. So, as you see, Mara is a spirit that belongs on nightmares. Death, bitterness, sorrow, nightmares, temptation. It's exactly not the resume of a friendly neighborhood spirit guide. Lauren Roberts has layered a very core of Mara's character into her name. She is being immense of power, fundamentally tied to the darkest parts of being human. This name wasn't pulled from a hat. It was a masterclass in foreshadowing. It tells us that Mara isn't an employee of death. She is death. She is fundamental force of this world, and her connection to Kitt is a collision between life and its ultimate death. The name itself is a promise of story filled with angst, sorrow, a bitter, tragic beauty. Section 5, Clue 4. The nature of Kitt's power. My final clue ties everything back together, and it involves rethinking Kitt's power entirely, or rather, his perceived lack of it. Throughout the trilogy, Kitt is defined by what he isn't. He isn't the enforcer, he doesn't have flashy, impressive ability like Kai. He's the spare, the lesser brother, a constant disappointment to his father. At least that's what he feels. But what if his sensitivity to Mara isn't a weakness, but it's a unique, undocumented power? In a world of elites who can throw fire or move at super speed, what if Kitt's ability is way more subtle? The ability is to sense what others can't, a sensitivity to the veil between life and the Moors. This completely reframes his entire character arc. His jealousy, his resentment, his feelings for being the second best, they aren't just in his head. They're amplified by the whispers of a death goddess only he can hear. He isn't going mad, he's just tuned to a different frequency. This could make him completely unique in Ilia, not just another elite, but something else entirely. Someone walking the line between the world of the living and the world of the dead. That would explain why Death or Mara has such a specific interest in him. He's not just another soul to collect, he's a bridge, he's an anomaly, and in Fearful, we'll likely see that this power of his blossom as he interacts with Mara, maybe even learning to navigate her realm. His greatest perceived weakness might just be most profound and terrifying strength. So, what do you think? Is Mara a benevolent guide for Kitt or something far more sinister, like a force that's been manipulating him all along? Let me know your final predictions for Fearful below. Also, if you love getting nerdy about your favorite fantasy books and breaking down theories like this, make sure you subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.